Hello, hello, hello. Hi.
Hi.
I just got to do a different intro every time we do it. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the All Right Podcast. It's not the best podcast, just the worst podcast. It's not the worst podcast. It's just
An alright podcast.
that's it. That's grand. Hello, how's it going? Back with another episode. Back with another banger. Banger. Bangers and mash, Nicola. Yeah. So I don't know what episode we're on now, and we have been missing 2 weeks now. So I'm not even gonna apologise. I have things going on. So does everybody else. It's a war. It's COVID. You know. I have college at the moment. You know yourself. You have work. You know.
We just didn't get around to it.
Yeah, but what we will be doing is we are going to be doing a back-to-back. So today we're going to be recording one, tomorrow we're going to be recording, so we know we have 2 weeks of it as well. And we're very busy, aren't we, Nicola, recently?
Yeah, we are.
And do you want to kind of tell the people why?
Well, as you mentioned, you have college and I have work. But on top of that as well, we're also working on our next project for the Dream Factory Productions.
And before we go on to that, I just want to say, here is the clip right now of our trailer for our next short film this Christmas. Yeah, wasn't that lovely? Yeah, that was great.
That trailer's coming out, that trailer's out today, but the film itself is coming out on the 29th.
The trailer's not out today. Because when they watch this, it won't be today.
Oh, well, today, the day we're recording this, yeah. So it came out today on the 16th.
Yeah.
So the film itself then is coming out on the 29th.
On the 29th. Yeah, so that's Friday, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a Friday.
So it's only going to be a few days. It's only going to be 3 days for these people. Because it's now Tuesday at around 6 o'clock when they're watching
this.
It'll
be a week and a half before.
Oh, will it?
Yeah, because if this is next week, it's the week after.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
The 29th. Jesus, time's flying by. What? 2021. The time is flying by. I was about to say 2020. I really was.
You saved yourself.
Right, go on. Continue as you do.
Should I say the name of the project?
Of course. Explain it. Say it all.
Okay. So, the name of our next short film is called The Hitmen.
I was supposed to go and you say The Hitman and I go you weren't supposed to.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Amateur. It's all good.
Alright, we'll practice that for next time.
Yeah, we will. Thanks.
Yeah, so that is a short film. We have our cast and crew decided. We're working with them all at the moment behind the scenes, and we've started rehearsals as well.
Yeah, we're doing pre-production, so everything's getting ready. We're supposed to film in January, probably the 15th of January. So yesterday was the start of a film date. That's when I wanted to do it.
But that's all changed
now. Yeah, but that's all changed now. We are now doing it in April, hopefully, if because you know the vaccine's coming out and stuff and all, and we don't know when that's actually coming out. But hopefully we can start filming in April and everything kind of dies down and the numbers die down.
Anyways.
Yeah, that's our plan. But yeah, we done our rehearsals last night. Our first rehearsals with the cast and crew, and it went really well. What did you think?
Yeah, so we had a read through of the script, and I think now everyone knows what the whole film is about. It's easier for us to work with people now, because if we reference something, they know what we're talking about now.
Yeah, if we talk them, and also we're kind of giving them tips and stuff, and what way we need them to act, and so if we need to act them a certain way, we're going to send them links to videos kind of to bounce off these type of actors as well, because that's who we're trying to pursue, the likes of that.
Yeah, I think the cast that we have picked for this film, they all suit the roles they're playing. For starters, they're all brilliant actors and actresses, and like I don't think there'll be much teaching involved for them. Like obviously there will.
It's just more guiding them to what style you want to go.
Over time, when we get more practice and more rehearsals done, I think they can pull off what you're looking for.
Oh yeah, definitely. We are going to be doing it for a few weeks. How long are we going to do it for? What, 4 months? Every week for 4 months, yeah?
Yeah, so we've 11 weeks from now till April.
Jeez, that's a long time, because usually people only get 6 weeks to kind of rehearse, 6 to 8 weeks. So we have 11, so they do have that few weeks more advantage.
Yeah.
And the very last rehearsals, I want them all to perform without their lines, so they know their lines.
Yeah, well, we'll have to be doing that way before the last one.
Yeah.
But I was going to say as well, with all that time for rehearsing, hopefully that'll help us waste very little time when we're actually on set.
Yeah, because what we noticed from filming our other films is that people kind of wing it and they don't learn their lines. And I don't mind people kind of improving.
Yeah.
But when they go, oh, what's this scene, or how do we do this, or what happens again, that's when I go,
Yeah.
no, you should know that.
Yeah.
So that's why we're doing from now on with this film, and then the rest of the films we do. We have this film, and then we have 2 or 3 feature films that we want to do, and that's going to be like 90 minutes long, so an hour and a half. Hopefully we can get them into like whatever, festivals and stuff like that. Widespread also will be coming out this year.
Yeah,
I was thinking of putting it into film festivals. I'm not. I'm just going to put it out onto our YouTube channel. Yeah, our YouTube channel for the Dream Factory Productions. We'll leave a link down below, and don't worry, I will leave a link this time.
And to our Instagram as well.
And to our Instagram, yeah, I put our Instagram actually on the description in the trailer, so if you want to go on, you can follow us for all the behind the scenes shots. And I think the people behind the crew is actually, they're good as well. They're very committed and dedicated to it, and the likes of that.
Yeah, so I think from doing Widespread, we had a good crew, a small crew, but a good crew. But for now, for the Hitmen, we have the same people involved again, but it's expanded a lot more this time.
The makeup's going to be really good in the special effects, because there is special effects artists joining, because Sarah is our main makeup and special effects artist, and these people are going to be her assistants.
Yeah.
And we've seen photos of what they can do, and it's going to be great. They kind of know about blood packs and stuff and all, and so a lot of scenes will be really good. It'll be really convincing.
So like special effects involved in the movie, you need to have a good crew.
Yeah.
And also with the camera and the sounds, so we have 2 new people for the camera and the sound as well, along with Craig and Greg. So.
Yeah, we have Marcus for the assistant cameraman, he's AC, and then we have Greg and Mikey, and Mikey is the sound engineer, and Greg is going to be his assistant. So that would be good, because they know a lot about sound, and Mikey would as well. And Mikey's been handy as well, because we are only a production starting out, and we are learning as well. So there are people bringing their own experience from working with other crews and helping us out, which I really appreciate. They're helping us out. So we're learning something as well. Well, they are,
Definitely,
so that's what kind of the update is and all that. But this week, really, I wanted to kind of talk about one thing: forgiveness. Forgiveness in so many ways. There's a lot of ways to forgive. You can give a friend. Forgive their past. Forgive the time that you went to get a hot chocolate and they gave you cream instead of the hot chocolate. And to me, I wouldn't forgive.
No, you usually hand it back and say, make me a new one.
I literally do this. This is what I do, right? They'll hand me into the window, right? They'll do this. And the first thing I do is check it.
Say this one has some cream on it.
Oh, that has cream on it. No, tell them, put it back. There you go. Thank you. No cream,
don't
please.
Just scoop it out. Make a fresh one.
Yeah, and don't scoop it out. Make a fresh one. Thank you. I'm like that because...
You're very particular.
I am, because I don't like cream. And... that's the only thing. I need to learn to forgive people, because I hold a grudge against them.
Against them personally?
That personal, I know. Like, if I go to Starbucks, right? I go to Starbucks over here in the drive-thru at Levy Valley, and also I go to my own personal Starbucks. My own personal Starbucks.
Your local Starbucks.
My local. Where I go over and I sit down when we could and write scripts and so. And
that's what we're really missing at the moment, is somewhere to go and sit and work.
Yeah.
Like Starbucks would be our place where we would go and sit and
work
for a few hours, and we get work done. It's very hard, I think, to be able to do that now.
Yeah, and I think forgiveness. I think a lot of people have thought about that during all this that's happening. Forgiveness. It's just mad. Like, is there anything that you personally had grudges on that you kind of go, I forgive that person? Is there any stories that you have that you go, I forgive that person, I forgive that time, I forgive when this person done that to me, or anything at all got to do with forgiveness?
Yeah, I think I have a story.
Alright, why are you laughing?
Because I don't know, it's just...
Alright, go on.
So, when I was probably, I was in 5th class in school, I think. So I would have been about 9. I was 9, and I used to go to dance classes with my friend. So we went to dance class, and this was on a Saturday, I believe.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I went to my dance class. I came back home then, and I realised that, well, I was told that our dog got hit on the road. So I was told that there was a tractor and a car on the road, and that the car hit the dog. So I knew, they told me who it was. I'm not going to say names, but they told me who hit the dog with the car, and it was it was a boy I went to school with, and he was in my class in school. So I always blamed him for killing our dog. But it was actually the tractor that hit her.
Oh, really?
So, like, I never said anything, like...
Was the dog completely squished?
I didn't see
tractor... Did he not even tell you how it happened?
I seen the dog after. Like, she wasn't squished, like, she was still...
In her
body, like...
Yeah, in her body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it was mostly her head that got hit.
Yeah.
And, yeah, like, it kind of, when you're in school, you kind of say stuff when you're a kid and you don't really understand it. But, like, I used to always blame him for...
And would you say it to him in class?
Yeah, not in lunch and stuff. Yeah, I'd say, well, I'd have a grudge against him. Really? And I would feel very angry towards him. And obviously, it was a pure accident. But I think a couple of years after, like, in myself, I realised, okay, that was an accident.
Yeah. And what would you do when you're in school? What would you be thinking? Would you be thinking, I want to run you over with a fucking tractor, or with your car? Like, or...
No, like...
Would you have cried in class, like, knowing school, seeing them and kind of cried? Have you ever looked at them and went, it's your fault? And you
I haven't done anything like that. I just think, like, whenever we'd be on lunch or in class or whatever, and if we were talking as a group or whatever, I would feel really angry. No, I wouldn't talk to him, and I'd feel really angry towards him.
Jesus. And have you ever told him?
Like, probably when I was a kid, yeah.
And do you not remember, like?
No, I remember saying, like, before that, oh, you killed our dog.
And what did he say?
He just said, no, it wasn't us, it was the tractor. We seen it happening.
And you didn't believe him?
No.
And you held on to that anger for a long time, then you said, right, I'm going to forgive. What age were you when you forgive him?
Oh, like, I don't know exactly when, the moment I forgave him, but probably like a couple of years after that.
Jeez. You held on to a grudge for that long?
Yeah.
For your dog.
But yeah, I suppose I was young at the time and I didn't fully understand what happened. So
yeah, that's true. Because it is hard to kind of forgive people when you're younger.
Yeah.
For the likes of that, now warning alert to Nicola. I went out with this girl, and I was an awful fucker. Like, I was a fucker to her. Like, I was awful. I don't know how she stood around. I think I was in my teenage years where I was just a bastard. Do you get me? I was an absolute like, I want to say so many words about myself, but I won't.
Yeah.
I was such a horrible person to be around. And she stayed by me through all of it until I said no, good luck, goodbye.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking there's another time as well, and I only thought of this recently, and this is why I wanted to talk about forgiveness. I was with this girl. I went out with this girl before yourself, Nicola.
Are we still talking about the same girl?
No, different girl now. Okay. Sorry, a different girl.
Sorry, just to go back to the first story. Yeah. Did you forgive that girl, or what's happened?
It was more I had to forgive myself. Okay. That I couldn't. It wasn't acceptable for me to do or say the things I did back then. But I have to remember, I was a teenager. I was, hormones and stuff. I know now that everything was wrong, and I would never do that now. But.
So, okay, moving on then.
Sorry, but the likes of that. So I forgave myself after that. But I don't fully forgive myself, if you get me.
Yeah. For
treating that girl the way she is. Now, that girl's gone off and she works for an airline and she goes all over the world and she flies and stuff like that. I think that was my first proper girlfriend as well. And, yeah, I know that I forgive her because I'm happy that, oh, she's gone off and she's done something and she's making a good life of herself, so fair play to her.
Yeah.
If I seen her or she's seen me, I'd hide And the reason I'd hide is because maybe I don't fully forgive myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I know she probably doesn't forgive me, or she probably doesn't even hold a grudge, but I know there's something in there to going, no, I know what type of person you are, but I'm not that type of person anymore.
Yeah.
For the likes of that. But yeah, I kind of I still don't forgive myself fully for that, but I think I need to. I think I will eventually, because I was a teenager and I was young, and everybody says they're young, they're stupid, do stupid things. But yeah, I was on Twitter last week, and I was going through my followers to see who I was following, and a certain name popped up, and I'm not going to say it, and it was a girl I was dating before yourself, Nicola, and I can remember how. Now I must have been. This is 2015, late 15, probably October, November of 15 into 16, early 16. And I remember, and her name came up on it, and I goes, holy shit, and I clicked on, and I saw her texts, and these texts said, I'm going up to him today. Oh, I love when they make me feel like that. But then she started putting up texts saying, or she started putting up tweets then saying, oh, mood swings are mad. He makes me feel horrible. And there was kind of off about it. There was moods. You get me? There was different moods and different swings. So 1 minute I seem like I'm grand, and then the next while I'm treating her bad. And then I remember seeing that, and I felt like I did with the first girl. I go, so was I such a bastard back then as well? And this girl was a nice person, and I got on with her family, and the brother and stuff and all, and the sister, and the man and dad liked me as well. But the way I treated her was horrible. Like 1 minute I'd be like, oh, you're great, you're out and out. The next one I'd be like, oh, don't come up, what are you coming up for? Like, it was very weird, and I always questioned myself, saying, is there something wrong with me? Like, is there something up with me? Do I need to go get checked?
But I think as well, didn't you used to take acne tablets that made your mood?
Yeah, I used to take acne tablets because I had really bad acne, and they would change your mood swings. Yeah, that was a side effect of your mood swings. So you could get really aggressive. That could be, and I never thought it actually.
Yeah, because I remember you stopped taking them before I met you, so you probably were on them back then.
Yeah, and I remember she always used to come up, and she used to bring me out, bring up to her house, and I'm wondering, what is that girl doing now? And there was another yoke of forgiveness there. I hope, I know people say that, oh wait, you were younger, that's your past, get on with it. You can't, because I'm the type of person that if you say something to me, that'll affect me more than, like, if you punched the head off me or beat me or something like that, I'd get on with it. If you talk to me in a certain way, like not physically, mentally, that would affect me more for years and years. And you should know, that, wouldn't you? Because I tend to think a lot. And this girl, and I remember sitting there going, Jesus, I'd love to fucking just text and say, hey, how are you? And then she'd be like, what you text me for? And I say, listen, I know this is weird, and I know this is out of the blue, but I'm sorry for how I treated you, and how I'm not trying to come back in. I'm not trying to sneak into your life. I'm very happy where I am with me and yourself and stuff and all. But I just want to apologise. But I don't think I should at this point. But because
do you not think it would kind of ease your conscience a little bit to know that, right, I know what I done was wrong, I've apologised. Obviously it's completely up to her to accept it or reject it.
Yeah, and I thought to myself, you have to forgive yourself. So basically, if I messaged her and said, listen, I'm sorry and stuff like that, and she didn't accept it, and she said she didn't even reply, or she seen it or laughed or something or whatever, I can say, right, I've done it. You should forgive yourself for that, because you know the wrong. You were in the wrong, you know it. And I remember that me, a friend called Shannon and a friend called Ross, at the time, we'd all go out to Glendalough. And I remember I went out with a friend, Aaron, and a girl who used to be with called Amber. And I remember Amber turned around to me and goes, you shouldn't be talking to her like that. I goes, what do you mean talking to her like that? I had such an attitude on me, and I don't know why. And maybe it was the acne tablets, but I don't want to blame it all on the acne tablets because it was with myself.
Yeah.
And that's what I need to do. The forgiveness, to get me, the likes of that. And I felt real bad and real, like, I felt sad after it. And this is like 5 years now. That was in 2015, 16, and we met late 16.
Yeah. I think as well, I've noticed it, and I'm not trying to say...
No, you can say what you want.
No, but I'm not saying that you've done the same thing to me, because you completely haven't. Like, you don't treat me like that. But I just want to say that when you're around other people and you're yourself, I don't think... I'm not saying this is you, but I'm saying people in general don't realise the way they act compared to other people. So if someone... Say, for example, if you called me a bitch or something, but say it was in passing, someone might think, oh, that's really offensive, why is he calling her that? But I know, say it's just a mess.
You know I'm saying it jokey,
Yeah, it's not, like, obviously if you were having a full-blown argument or something, then it's serious, but in passing, say it's a mess or something like that. But other people might pick that up the wrong way and say, oh, that's not right there. Yeah. But the person knows it's only a mess.
No, but I know that it wasn't right back then.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is some people can have different views. And obviously you feel now that it's wrong.
It is wrong. And it's horrible the way I treat her.
Yeah.
It was horrible. It's not right. I would make her feel loved, and then I'd break up with her. And then everything would be grand again. And then I'd say I need a break. And it'll go back and forth. And I know we're only young, but I'm realising that type of stuff, you get me?
Yeah.
And I kind of messed with her head. And I feel absolutely terrible about it. I'm not wanting a friendship out of it. Yeah. I'm not wanting... I just want to let her know that, listen, I'm sorry about that.
The way you described that there, I think a lot of... I'm not saying this is all boys, because it's not. Obviously girls do as well, but I think some boys do go through those emotions, because what you described there is something I've experienced as well. So I think it might be something to do with hormones or puberty or something like that, or maybe just boys being boys and not knowing what they want or what they want to do. They just want to have a mess or whatever. But it's not just you that's done that. Obviously it's affecting you because you're experiencing it, but it does happen to other people as well.
But it's my own experience, my own personal experience, and I don't think I should text her and say sorry, because honestly I don't think at this point she would forgive me or care. And as I said, I don't want her to forgive me. I just wanted to know that I've done that.
Yeah, I think it's more important that you forgive yourself. Not forgive yourself, but you acknowledge...
Understand.
You acknowledge that it's wrong. Yeah. And you come to terms with it and say, okay, I've acted like this before. I'm conscious, I'm aware of it now, and I'm not going to act like this.
Because I know if I say this to you, like, this is obviously personal, but I want to get kind of this personal on the podcast. I want people to kind of go, oh, I've experienced that, and he's not afraid to talk about it, so the likes of that. And I'm not mentioning people's names because I know they probably don't even want to be mentioned or anything, you know, and for the likes of that. And there was also, it was just mad. It's just crazy. So that's where I am kind of at the moment with forgiveness. We kind of have to accept it and move on with that. And I know that was only from seeing Twitter.
Yeah.
And the likes of that. And I haven't talked to that person in 5 years or something, like, you know.
And that's the thing, I think, as well. Like, when you lose contact with someone and something pops up and it brings back all those memories.
And it brings... Yeah.
And, like, you... Like, in general, like, you don't think of it in your day-to-day life. But when something like that pops up, then you're reminded of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to get rid of until you come to terms with it and... forgive yourself.
Yeah, I think forgiveness is something we all need to do, and we all need to understand that, right? You need to forgive yourself, or you need to forgive others.
It's like, I think, you know, not trying to be cheesy or anything, but life is too short, and you shouldn't hold grudges, because you shouldn't hold grudges with yourself or with someone else, because there's no point. It's not doing you any good, and it's not doing the other person any good. So
I think it's normal though to think about it for when it first starts, but after a while, you know, right, I need to get up and get on with it.
Yeah.
You need to forgive yourself.
Like, you can't let it control you.
No, exactly.
You have to just...
And I do that. I let a lot of stuff like that control my day-to-day, and then, you know yourself, it kind of changes my mood and stuff, and then I do feel very down or very sad. And I do want to cover one of them in the podcast. I want to cover a podcast where we talk about sadness. That would be the heading for one of them, is sadness. Yeah. And I'm going to be truly honest, so I'll probably talk about that tomorrow maybe or something, or, you know, for the following week's podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to say I will, but we'll see. And I'm going to be out straight, and I'm going to be truth, and I'm not hiding anything, because I think it is important. And people say, oh, it's important that don't say it to a lot of people that are out there and they can watch it and they know and they say talk to a specialist, but some people can only know this. Some people that rather talking to a camera, knowing that there's no one there right now that would be able to speak back to me right now.
Yeah.
I can just let it all out
at a point in time. Yeah. And there's no one to.
And I think that's a lot of vloggers do that, don't they, as well?
Yeah.
They talk about their life and their daily problems.
You're documenting your daily life, and you know that you are in control of posting the footage or not. And obviously, if you post it, you're full aware that the world is going to see it and the world can react to it then after.
So I do. I forgive myself for a few things, but the same majority I don't. You know, like that. And I know we went from, we're a new film to this, but I want to talk about more about this stuff, and it's not always going to. I'm gonna have an episode where it's called happiness as well. You know, it's not all going to be sad, but I do want to kind of cover sadness as well. You know, and kind of reflect on sadness and happiness. And
and I think that's good as well, because no one's happy 24/7.
No.
You know, people go up and down, mood swings, whatever, mental health.
I think someone that is always happy when you see. I used to be like that, but I'll talk about more of that in another episode. But the person, every time you see them, they're happy. They're always uplifting. You have a lovely smile. But I do think that them people are the ones that try the hardest to be happy.
Yeah, well.
And then they have problems. They're difficult.
Yeah, because if you see them and they're always happy, that's okay. But what are they like when you don't see them? They're a completely different person.
Exactly. Then. As you said, everybody has their ups and downs and stuff like that as well. And I want to cover that more in another podcast and stuff like that as well. But I think that we all need to kind of forgive ourselves more on our past kind of things we've done, you know, and don't hold grudges.
And I think as well, to work on forgiveness, meditation and mindfulness are two very important things, and not just for forgiveness but for your general mental health as well. I found recently that doing meditation, it can even be 1 minute a day. It just connects you with your body and mind. It connects your mind, body and soul, and being mindful as well, and being aware of your feelings and how you're feeling and what you can do to get the best out of your day and all that kind of stuff. It really helps, because you can sit there in your own thoughts and just let it consume you, but if you're actively listen to yourself and like come to terms with it and then move on and know that you can move past it, it's so much better for you.
I agree with that. If I had my own place of my own, if we had a place, I'd love to have a spare room where obviously I can do my videos and I can do gaming and my podcast, but have that little corner where I can just sit in and it's complete darkness, even if it's in the cupboard, and sit there with my own thoughts and have the little box that you have in your room where the little smoke comes out.
The mist.
And put on some meditating music and even go for 10 minutes a day.
Yeah, I think that's important.
In the morning.
And I don't think it could be a dark room or whatever, but I think you should have that corner or that room or some space available to you to be mindful and to just sit there and be with your thoughts, or just have your mind blank, or just listen to meditation music or guidance, because it is important.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what we're doing now. That's our podcast now for this evening. I enjoyed this one, and it's our kind of not forcing back, but the one after 2 weeks kind of.
It's our first one of 2021.
It is.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. But I want to kind of get more into this type of stuff, because I want to talk about different emotions, like stress, happiness, sadness, past, future, your present, and talk about that. And that's what I'm going to call the podcasts. I'll have the Alright podcasts, but
that'll be the
it will be, your thumbnail and your yoke. I'm explaining it to these as well, but and it'll say that, and that's what we're going to be talking about this week, for the likes of that. And these podcasts are not only for people, they're for ourselves, because I done podcasts on my own, and it was to get stuff off my chest.
Yeah.
But I enjoy it more when it's someone I'm bouncing off. I can bounce off someone. But yeah, that's it really for the podcast this week. So yeah, thanks for joining me for another hot chocolate. We'll be back next week with... That always does that.
Every
Stress. Maybe we can talk about stress or light. Yeah. So we'll talk to you again next week. Same time, 6 o'clock on a Tuesday. Don't worry, because we're recording too this day. Today's Saturday and then the Sunday. So we'll be doing that. Don't worry. I think we should do that so we never miss one. We'll always have one in advance. Yeah. So guys, thanks so much for watching. And thanks very much for listening. This has been the Alright Podcast. Remember, it's not the best podcast, it's not the worst podcast. It's just
the Alright Podcast.
Right. See you later. Bye.
Bye.